So we just talked about what A, so A is our initial value. That is also your y-intercept, Sienna, because to find my y-intercept, we take 0 and then A plus K. Your B is your growth / decay rate. We also call it our common ratio. You will hear it said as common ratio. So, what we need to do to identify the equation is the first step, because we do not know what your asymptote is. We can't tell from just this table. We're going to find your y-intercept. I spelled that all the way wrong. I-N. And that's easy because we're looking for when x is 0. So your y-intercept, meaning my A is 18. To find my common ratio, I need to determine how did 18 turn into 6 by looking at your y values. So how did we go from 18 to 6? Divided by 3. So that's awesome, but understand, we need to figure out how it's being done and what it's being multiplied by. So we understand that it's dividing by 3, but I need to know what would be if we were multiplying. And if you can determine the division, because that's the easier part for us to do. You take whatever you're dividing by, put it as a denominator. So divided by 3 means 3 goes as the denominator, and we put a 1 on top. Again, whatever you're dividing it by, if you want it to be multiplying instead, the number goes at the denominator, and a 1 goes at the numerator. So my common ratio is 1/3. Making my equation, y equals 18 1/3 to the x. So we know that that is a decay. How do we know it's a decay? What is smaller than 1? What is less than 1? The B, the common ratio. Awesome. But you know, if you also look at your y values, they're decreasing. So if your y values are decreasing, we know it's a decay. So let's look at number 2. Is 2 a growth or a decay? Growth. How do you know? Good. Again, we need to find my y-intercept. What's the y-intercept? 0, 5. So our A will be 5. How did I go from 5 to 25? Times 5. And 25 times 5 equals 125. So my common ratio is also 5. Thus, my equation is y equals 5 times 5 to the x power. I need us to go to the next page. We are going to look here at graphing and looking at the graph and determining the equation from the graph. So I want to do, first thing I want to look for is your asymptote. So if we're looking here, oops, what is my asymptote? What is asymptote?
Where it gets really close to the...
Good. So it goes from, so what line does it get close to but does not cross? The x-axis. So that is y equals 0. So if y equals 0, that means we could determine my k equals 0. I want to know what my y-intercept. So that's 0 and 3. Now, I need us to understand that if I have my asymptote and my y-intercept, so my y-intercept, I'm going to subtract my asymptote. That should give me what my a value is. So 3 minus 0 equals 3. Does that make sense? Because we had to add a and k to get my y-intercept. So now we need to find my common ratio, my b. Now that is a little different. We found my y-intercept. I want us to find what value y is when x is 1. So it will be x is 1, y is what? 6. So looking at my y values, okay, because we're looking for the common ratio. We're looking at the y values. I'm going to take the second y value. So y2, which is the one where it's 1, comma, whatever number. And I'm going to divide it by your y-intercept. So I'm taking 6 divided by 3 to equal 2. It has to be, you have to pick 2 consecutive points. That is how we'll determine what our b is in our equation. And it's easier to do the y-intercept and 1 and whatever your y value is. So my equation is y equals 3, 2 to the x power. So again, the first thing I'm going to look for is my asymptote. Here my asymptote is again the x-axis. So y equals 0 is my asymptote because k equals 0. I need to find my y-intercept. That is 0, 4. So I'm going to take my y-intercept, which is 4, subtract my asymptote of 0, which means a equals 4. To find my b, I need to find the second y value. So that's 1, 2. So I'm going to take 2, divide it by 4 And that gives me 1/2. So the equation is 4. Oops, back it up. Y equals 4 times 1/2 to the x power.